Welcome back to 10 Rolling Video Ball Reviews. Today we're testing the new Motiv Raptor Rush. If you like what we do, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out on Patreon. First impressions, pretty new gold ball from Motiv. The Raptor Rush is going to be interesting. Alright, let's talk about what we have first. Motiv slotted this Raptor Rush at the top line in their ball guide furthest right, which means it's supposedly the strongest, most angular pearl in their lineup. That slid the Crimson Jackal over a bit, so naturally we'll compare the two. Additionally, we'll actually compare another new strong pearl sim that just came out, the Storm Phaze AI. I'll tell you, these three balls have some overlap in purpose, but do roll differently. The Raptor Rush is definitely an angular piece for the upper part of the bag. I'd say it fits right in the mid-define category in my arsenal building setup, same as the Crimson Jackal, and in fact, the same as the Phaze AI. And there seems to be an obsession to make very angular pieces, and that's never going to be a lefty's best friend. However, the ball has a purpose, and that's when you want a stronger rolling core but need that sort of cleaner look. I'll remind folks that this isn't because it's a pearl, but rather the cleaner surface finish. It gets good length, has a pretty nice punch down lane. It's a nice little sweet spot for that part of the bag. Is it the best? Well, we'll get into that with each bowler. The Raptor Rush is not super long. In other words, it's medium clean, has a nice length, and the core turns over pretty hard in this cover, so it does create a touch of over-under for me. Not in a way where you flag the head pin or leave a bucket type of thing, but I couldn't quite get hold from in, and sometimes it left a 7 pin. And that could also be the pattern plus new pins. Nevertheless, you kind of see what you get. Now, quick look to compare to the Crimson Jackal, which is indeed one of my favorite releases for Motiv in recent times. The Jackal's a rollier core than the Affliction V2. It almost feels like the Rush has the stronger cover and a little bit weaker core, whereas the Crimson has the sort of cleaner cover but the stronger, heavier rolling core. And those combinations give you different on-lane characteristics. Basically, the Crimson feels rounder and a bit more predictable, even while the cover is a little cleaner. The Rush is clearly the more hockey stick look of the two. I prefer the Crimson shape personally from the left side. Now, looking at the Storm Phaze AI, I get a pretty different look. It's earlier, but more importantly, more forward. It probably rolls the most asymmetric-like of the three. So the most forward is the AI, the roundest is the Crimson Jackal, and the latest, most angular is the Raptor Rush. Now we'll focus in a little bit more on Tyler, and he's got a very nice look with the Raptor Rush. He has the same look overall with very similar characteristics. Pattern has been adjusted a bit since our last review. Again, go figure. So now we have a bit more hook overall, but we no longer have the hold from in that you typically want in a house shot. Anyway, so all three of the balls we tested don't hold from in if you get to 10 at the break point. The rush looks great, but there are also the 10 pin mixed in due to a mix of ball strength, pattern, new pins, so maybe a little strong for this pattern, but the ball seems pretty predictable despite the angularity. Now the Crimson Jackal, and you can see a similar behavior to what I saw. It seems to get down lane easier, but isn't as angular as the Rush. However, it still hits nicely. And just maybe a couple boards more direct, so he's probably got to move right a couple boards. So again, cleaner cover, stronger core, leading to a visually later yet smoother shape. I'd say Tyler's going to like the smoother shape of the two since he can generate angle on his own, but both look good. Now, take a look at the Phase AI, and you see what I saw. It's angular, but more forward, just tumbles heavy once it turns over. Pretty different look, and happens to be Tyler's favorite of the three. Still has the same issue with no hold from in and 10 pins on this lighter pattern, but of the three shapes, this is the one that resonated most with Tyler. Brian's up next, and I actually thought about showing his shots first, as he had the best look with the Raptor Rush. He had the most consistent carry. Part of it is that stronger ball actually matched up with this pattern best for him, as he can use something a bit stronger for more direct, having more tilt. The Raptor Rush really had an excellent punch for him. Probably one of the most angular balls he's thrown, but still highly effective. He could play direct, he could open up the lane. It didn't die any outside friction, This ball has an excellent shot of staying in his bag long term. Here are a few shots with the Crimson Jackal, and he could play the same line unsurprisingly, and I'd say the difference is still noticeable enough. Carry percentage is not quite as good. It's a little later, a little more forward, so it deflected a touch through the pins. A good look, but I would say not as good as a Raptor Rush for Brian. Now we'll take a look at the Phaze AI, and again, it's clearly the most forward. So that meant the most over-under for Brian. Since it was so forward, if he missed out, it kind of stopped and misses in, again, didn't hold. I would say he had the lowest carry percentage with the Phaze AI due to that behavior. Again, not a bad ball, just not the best matchup here on this pattern with what we have. So of the three, the Raptor Rush was a runaway favorite for Brian. All right, so the bottom line, Motiv has correctly placed the Raptor Rush in their ball guide. It fits in the mid-define category. Comparing it to the Crimson Jackal and Storm Phase AI was informative, as we can see how differently balls can roll while still being in the same slot in the bag, as well as seeing all three bowlers have different favorites. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.